What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. You know what time it is. You've seen the title. This is probably going to be the longest Will Flips video on the channel to date, probably for a while, because it is officially time for me to go through my entire collection from 2023. So this is going to be a doozy. Even in the past month, I've had multiple Balisongs show up. There's a reason I have my water here to have, because, like, I know this is going to take literally forever, but we have my normal case full of Balisongs that I normally have, and then a smaller case, and this little guy right here, little Jerry Hom, a buddy boy. Yeah, this is going to be a lot. So I think let's start small and maybe work our way up. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to this. We're just going to go through all of them, and then I'm going to try to make them all fit on this table right here. And that will go well, maybe. Probably not. Probably won't go well. But we're going to try. So let's crack into it. This is from Jerry Hom Design. This is one of the orange versions of his case that he developed. It's a canvas style Balisong case that can hold up to 8 Balisong. It's a really, really nice design, and I love that he came with the orange and black out of here. This is awesome. Okay, so now the biggest question is, can Will remember the names of all of the knives that he owns? Isn't that a fun question? This right here is the Serpent Striker V3, and this is a recent addition to my collection, and I really love it. I am really, really impressed with the Serpent Striker V3. It's honestly one of the best cheap knives to come out of Max Ace. The fact that this thing costs $150 is a steal. It is completely insane that you can get that for that kind of money. Next up, we have a very cheap Balisong. You might remember this from my last video, but this is my last collection video, which I guess was more than a year ago at this point, so maybe you don't remember it. This is the first Balisong that I ever bought from a company in Denton, Texas called the Downtown Mini Mall 2. They had a little display case that had Balisongs in it, and well, here you go. This is Balisongs from the Downtown Mini Mall 2. This is absolutely insane that I own this now. This is literally the first Balisong I bought, and I still have it to this day. It is really bad quality. I think I could bend the blade with my bare hands if I really wanted to. It says it's stainless steel. I don't believe it. It's held together with pins. The handles are probably made of zinc or lead, and they're literally falling apart. The thing has just the most hilarious play. Like, this thing is dying actively. But you know what? It served a good time, and it really did start me on my journey into this hobby now, didn't it? Next up, we have the Odin, which is the Oni, not the Odin. The Oni, or the P Oni. This one is specifically the Hive version from NDK Arts. This is one that I actually went a little bit viral with because it's a flexible Balisong. You can bend it. It's made of flexible plastic, so you can actually bend the handles on this thing and they'll retain their shape. And you can bend the blade in all sorts of wacky positions and do all sorts of dumb stuff with it. I made a short about this that went a little viral, which was really neat. That was a lot of fun. And now it's over there. Oh boy. But yeah, I really enjoy this little Balisong just for the novelty factor. It actually flips better than you think it would, but from a novelty standpoint, it is genuinely awesome. Oh, this is gonna take a while. All right. Next up, we have the Sirius V1, I believe, from oh god, the name is escaping me all of a sudden. I think it's LDY Balisong on Instagram. LDY is one of the premier Balisong makers to come out of the, I guess, Chinese economy recently. There has been a lot of new Balisongs coming out of China lately that I think are mostly disconnected from the clone factories, which is really nice to see. And LDY has been creating genuinely some of the most impressive Balisongs I have ever seen. And the Sirius V1 is kind of the first foray into that. It's a really nice aluminum channel trainer. It flips really well, and there's more where that came from deeper in the collection as we get into it. So, yeah. All right, what do we got next? We have the Antarctic from Glider Co. This is my personal Antarctic. I really like the Antarctic. I also have in here my Arctic as well. So these are the two main trainers to come out of Glider Co., the Arctic and the Antarctic. Both of them are fantastic, though I prefer the way the Antarctic flips ever so slightly above the original Arctic. I think the original Arctic is very good, but the Antarctic just slightly performs better than the original. So yeah, these are fantastic products. Glider Co. makes some really awesome stuff, and honestly, in my opinion, has some of the best looking anodizations in the Balisong industry. Honestly, their whole, I think, vibe, Glider Co. itself, stylistically, I think they're probably one of my favorites in the industry. They have all sorts of little details, like the screws having writing inside of them that says like Glider Co. G10 FT6-32, which is telling you the thread size of these screws. That's super cool. I really love the little details like they have right here, 440C hardened bushings. Like the aesthetics of Glider Co. is a very, very well done company. And yeah, I really appreciate Glider Co. for that. So those are the two gliders. All right, now getting to the end of this guy, we have the Zippy. This is the Zippy Balisong. Oh man, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. We did a whole ass review of it, and I've completely forgotten the name all of a sudden. It had something to do with water. I am very smart. But yeah, this is from Zippy Balisong. It's a very good trainer, even though it's extremely light. It is a very, very, very light Balisong being made fully of plastic, and yet it does a shockingly good job of being flippable. I'm pretty impressed with the flippability of this Balisong, but it is not perfect, and I think some of the stuff that came out of Zippy later was slightly better than that guy. All right. Last but not least, well, maybe not least, in the Jerry Hom case is this from Flytanium. This is a very weird Balisong. This is the French fry Balisong that Flytanium produced at the behest of some customers. It is a honestly pretty expensive Balisong made of aluminum and steel, and it's pretty good aluminum and it's pretty good steel, but it runs on bearings, not bushings, which is an interesting choice. And, well, the handles look like French fries. That's, the handles look like French fries. That sure is what they decided to do. The funny part about this Balisong is that it actually doesn't flip that bad, which is weird for, you know, the whole everything about it. Yeah, it's actually weirdly a kind of good-ish flipper. It feels very weird in the hand. I mean, the texture is obnoxious, but it works. It does, in fact, flip weirdly well. So, yeah, that is the French fry Balisong from Flytanium. I think I'm going to have to space these guys closer together. I think that's going to be the play. I genuinely don't know how many of these we're going to end up, if we're going to fill this whole table. I think we will. If we don't, then I'll have to just spread them out in a way that looks very aesthetic for the thumbnail. But if we do, okay, in this case, I have some of my personal grails. And then in this case, I have everything else, which also includes some of my personal grails. I have a lot of grails. Yeah, I've come a long way, huh? Oh God, where to even begin? You know, I think where I will begin, actually, I'm going to move the Jerry Hom case to the side. We're going to take this whole top off. Wow. Take your top off. Thank you. This is the inside of the Foxtrot case. It has a lot of open space, and there are a few things in here that are very fun. In the middle, I have storage space that's been taken up, and I have a few Balisongs within that storage space. So this one, which is in its case, is the EPS Knives Wraith. This is the orange G10 version of the Wraith, and honestly, I really, really like the Wraith. It is a fantastic Balisong with a lot of good stuff going on. It feels really good to flip. It's got a great radius to the handles. The only complaint that I have about the Wraith is that it comes out of the box a little unfinished for the price of the Balisong. Out of the box, there's just a few things that I would like to see finished a little bit better, be it the sides of the handles, a little bit of sanding there, or the bottoms of the handles. A little bit of sanding there, a little bit of sanding up here behind the notch of the blade, just to kind of ease off on the sharp edges. And this thing would be pretty much perfect for the price. But until that happens, it's just a little annoying, because you do need to modify it yourself to make it flip comfortably. But other than that, is a fantastic Balisong. Underneath that, we have the BB Barfly. This is the Talon, and it is a very nice Balisong. I do enjoy me the Talon. The Barfly Firefly family, we very much enjoyed. I enjoyed it a lot. A ton of people, whenever we bring these to parties, because these are a easy, like, leave it out at a party Balisong, for, you know, leave it at the bar, people can open drinks with it, but also they pick it up and then immediately start playing with it and are like, oh my god, this is a lot of fun. And this one in particular has gotten a number of my friends to pick up a Balisong for the first time after they tried this at a party that we threw. And yeah, I love BB Barfly's products for that exact reason. Okay, that's the EPS Knives Wraith. This is a special thing that we'll get to later. This is the Bali 3D Phoenix V1, which is a very interesting Balisong, and it comes in a very interesting layout. There's a lot going on here. It's a hunorcious dude with a lot going on in there. Like, there's weights all over the place. There's massive hardware. There's interchangeable hardware adjustments. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It is weird, to say the least. There's a lot of things going on with this thing. I like where he was kind of going with it, but stuff's a little too flexible. The handle gap is both too wide and not wide enough at the same time. There are just a number of problems with it that I think later iterations of 3D printed Balisongs ended up solving. So yeah, this one is a weird kind of relic that I have now, which I'm not going to put it on the table just because it's actually hunorcious, and I don't think it will fit on the table with everything else in any good way. So, you know what? I will get to the brown box. We're going to talk about the brown box, but we need to talk about something else first. This. We got to talk about the Vulp first. This is the Vulp. This is the Balisong that I worked extremely hard on with Nabali's. As you can see, I've added the Zippy Balisong inserts to the blade. I really love what Zippy has been doing. I honestly plan on getting Zippy inserts for my Bite Blades Titan, which is in my collection. I really want to get the one that like goes in the blade hole. I think it would look really cool. But yeah, Zippy has just been making a lot of cool stuff and a lot of really interesting advancements when it comes to Balisongs in general, and it has me very excited. So yeah, this is my Vulp. Balisong worked very hard on. It's available on Amazon for $65. We're really, really proud of it. As like the ideal beginner Balisong was the idea behind it. So we tried to make it as good as possible for people getting into Balisongs for the first time. So that's the Nabali's Vulp. Here's something interesting to know. We own the patent for this in America and China. So it can't be cloned, or at least that's how it should be. However, in this box is, I think, one of the only Nabali's Vulp, Nabali's X Will Hirsch Vulp clones to exist. It's a bit of a chunker. It is not, the finish is not the same. I will say it is not quite the same level of quality out of the box. You're going to notice problems with like the rounding on the blade is just not like, this is a very nice smooth rounding on the Nabali's one. This is like janky. The interior cutouts have burrs in them. The handles they're actually tuned very well, so I'll give them that. They did tune it shockingly well, but oh man, I believe this is from the One. Oh man, their relief cutouts are huge. Holy moly. Yeah, it's fine. But the funny part was twofold. First of all, this was made by the One, and it's really obviously a cheap imitation of the actual Nibalis product. But here's the thing, we own the patent for this in China, which meant immediately after the One posted this, we contacted them and were like, hey, you can't sell that, because unlike many things that you do clone and sell, we actually own the patent in China for that. And they were like, oh no. So they stopped selling it immediately. However, not before I managed to snag one for evidence, because the idea was that we were going to, just in case it became an actual patent dispute, we were going to take the clone and make the obvious case that, yes, this is infringing on our patent. And it did after months. I think it literally took more than half a year for this thing to arrive at my doorstep. It finally got here after being delayed and delayed and delayed. I'm pretty sure I am the only person that owns one of these, but if someone else does, that would be very funny. But yeah, this is the clone of the Vulp, and the funniest part about it is that I believe it was like $5 to $10 cheaper than the original Vulp. So it was like really barely any difference for what I would consider substantially worse quality. It just does not hold up the same. Look at that thigh gap, though. Good lord. Our thigh gap is already... the thigh gap on the Vulp is intentionally large so that you can't pinch your fingers, because I find that newer flippers pinch their fingers. This is just... That's massive, dude. I don't even think they got the center to center right on the pivots. Either way, yeah, so real Vulp clone. Sorry that became a whole rant about the Vulp and its clone, but I think that is the only one that exists currently, which is very funny to me. And I have it. And it came in this really discreet, just brown cardboard box with no branding from China, because I don't think they wanted their name to be associated with it at all, but I'm pretty sure it's from the One. Okay, moving right along. This is another Maxace product. This is the Maxace Lauren, and it is just a little guy. Boy, is he just a little guy. It's like a fork and a multi-tool, and it's got a bottle opener that doesn't actually fit on any bottles because it's too small. This thing is weird. It's got a trident thing. I don't know. It was very expensive for what it is. It runs on bearings. It's a weird Balisong. I don't like it at all. It just so happens to be in my collection, but it's not necessarily by choice, believe me. Anywho, let's go deeper. Here we have the Serpent Striker. V1. No, the Scorpius. Sorry, not the Serpent Striker. What am I saying? This is the Scorpius V1. I think they released other versions of the Scorpius. I don't remember. This is the Scorpius Trainer. I actually really liked my Scorpius back in the day, and I still do like this thing. It is a very plain, very straightforward bead-blasted titanium Balisong that runs on bushings. It's really tiny. It's super weird looking. It's not that good by today's standards. It wasn't even good by the standards of the time, but it was unique and I liked it. Okay? I thought it was funkalicious in a stupid way, and I like that about it. So don't judge me. I like it. I like it a lot more than that thing. These two are like weird brothers right here, and I'm just not a fan. I'm leaning too far over. I'm feeling like the framing should be here, and it's not, but I need to lean here to show you that. It's hard, okay? It's a hard knock life. Don't blame me, guys. I'm not good at this. I just make videos. I don't do it for a living. Shit, I do it for a living. Anyways, this is the Atropos Kirot from way back in the day. This is one of the first reviews that I did, if y'all remember that. This is a very old Balisong for me. And I still love it. To this day, it still holds up really well. It doesn't have any tap, barely has any play at all. It's just a good utilitarian Balisong. Still works really well. Still nice and sharp. Just good. It's a solid Balisong. Does what you need it to do. Doesn't ask any questions. It's titanium milled. You know, there are weird moral implications to buying a Balisong from Russia now. So, like, that's up to your own discretion. I don't know if I would, but at least I have it. And this is from a long time ago. So, yeah. That's the Kirot. All right. Oh, boy. This was a fun one. So, this is Franken boy, as you can tell by looking at it. This is technically a BRS replicant, and there is almost nothing stock on this entire Balisong except maybe the barrels, because I believe even all of the screws have been replaced with non-standard hardware. So that's funny. It doesn't flip good, unfortunately. I really wanted it to be a good flipper. It is not a good flipper. I want to do something with it eventually. I think that the scales look really sweet. Like, I think the scales look pretty epic, but they need some sanding to actually be finished. They don't feel good in the hand. The insides of it, like these liners, are really dope. They're like very organic, cool shapes. And then it's got this like quasi faux channel spacer, I believe from Foxfire, but these are like the very first version, so they don't actually fit in there properly. This whole thing is like V1s and prototypes and jank. And then this blade is, I don't remember exactly who ground this blade, but this is also a pretty early grind for them, and it's very dark etched Damascus steel. It does look really cool, but the blade is so heavy and the handles are so light because so much material was taken out of them that it is not balanced at all. And so this one doesn't get a lot of screen time. I don't use it basically ever because it just kind of sucks to flip, which sucks because I do want it to be good, but it is not. So yeah, that's that little sad replicant boy. I'm sorry, I'm going too far forward. I'm sorry, guys. That's that bad little replicant boy. Poor little guy. Okay, moving on. Inside the bottom of the case, we have the Artsy Wave, the Artsy X Nabali's Wave. This thing is actually very good. It is a really good trainer. It flips fantastically. It feels super nice to flip. I would definitely say that this trainer would probably appeal to more advanced flippers than it would to like very beginner flippers, but it's a very good trainer for the price. It is just a bit slippery. I think they could have done a little more to have good grip because there are just a few problems with it overall grip-wise that I'm not the biggest fan of. But in general, it's pretty neat. I'm also not a fan of the blade shape. Just don't really like it. It's sort of like a quasi-sheep's foot thing. I just don't like it. Also, I don't know how you're supposed to sharpen it all the way up to the tip because it becomes so incredibly thick and pointy that really you could only sharpen this middle area. And I think that was kind of the selling point of this trainer, is that you would be able to sharpen it, but you can't really. So, you know, it's a really good trainer, but the functionality is a little wishy-washy. Okay, moving right along. Flytanium. This is the Flytanium Talisong Z. This is a very large, beautiful version of the Talisong from Eldon Tally. Oh man, my voice is. This is why I have the water, because this is going to be a long video. Very important to have the water. Okay. Yeah, this is Flytanium's version of the Talisong by Eldon Tally, which we'll get into my Talisong later. Love that thing. But the Flytanium version of the Talisong is honestly super nice. This thing feels awesome to flip. It's a little loud when you first get it. You really got to work in those bearings, which is a bit annoying for a Balisong that costs as much as this thing does. But I will admit, everything about it flipping-wise is pretty damn sick. This thing feels amazing to flip. The texturing is awesome. It's just really, really dope all around. I love that the Balisong design can live on through this Balisong. And then, here, relegated to its spot in the bottom of my case, is my JK Designs Monarch, which just not doing great. This guy's not feeling great. The handle gap is still busted, still completely broken. It does not work. You can just squeeze the handles together like that really easily. It's back on bearings. I have the original number 69 blade, but as you can see, even that's kind of fucked up because it sits sideways, because this one had a spacer that was helping, but that fell out. And so now it doesn't, and now the handles are kind of sideways to where the blade is. It's not good anymore. It's really sad. Honestly, I did like my Monarch a lot, and now I just hate it. And that is a sad update / end to this story. I gotta be totally honest. I talked about my Monarch and tried to work with Julian for a long time on that, and then I made a video on this channel criticizing one of his products that he was not a big fan of, and he got very offended at that, and so I've kind of stopped reviewing Julian's products because of that. So yeah, this thing is just a bad experience all around. It completely failed on me. The play is really bad. I can tighten it to where it's fine, but it's still not good. This is a really sad $1,000 Balisong. This cost me $1,000, maybe even slightly more than $1,000. I think it might have been $1,200 at the time. It was a lot of fucking money, and now it's just sad, and that sucks. I really liked this thing, and now it's terrible. So that's the Monarch. That's a sad story. Also, he was supposed to finish the handles. When he sent it to me, I wanted the handles to be, sorry, I'm bitching again. I wanted the handles to be dual tone like the blade, because the flats and then the dark parts, he just bead blasted the handles and didn't finish them. And I think he did that because I annoyed him with the video that I uploaded, because he still had this when he got mad at me for reviewing one of his products. And so I think he specifically didn't do the customization I asked him for because of that. So yeah, we don't really work with him anymore. Moving on, here's something that's actually really dope. This is the Serious version 2 from LDY Balisong, and this thing is sick as fuck. It is a very good Balisong for the price. I don't remember exactly how much it was. I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $200, and it is just exceptional. It's very, 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 very good. It is a really, really dope, really fucking sharp Balisong. I like this thing a lot. People said, oh, is it a Kraken killer? No, it's not a Kraken killer, because it flips very differently than the Kraken, actually. It's similar construction with the aluminum and the stainless steel blade, but it has a light and feathery feel that the Kraken does not. And so I would say they're just really completely different Balisongs. You'll also notice the insane level of detail in the milling here. That's crazy looking. That's really cool. So yeah, great job, LDY, on the Serious. Keep up the good work. I love seeing what you've been doing. Okay, that's all the Balisongs there, but there's a couple more things that we need to get through on the bottom here before we can move into the smorgasbord of the main Balisongs. So this sure is, this is a flip fins. You may not have ever seen this before if you're too young for it. This is something that was available on Amazon back in the day. I don't believe it is anymore. It's just a toy, but it's like a Balisong if a Balisong was a toy. And the unfortunate part about the flip fins is that because it had to really be a toy, it was never that good for flipping. It's got an interesting design, but it's not a good design. It's very blocky, very hard to do much with other than some rollovers. It's not a good flipper other than that. It's super inconsistent. The handles are just weird. The whole thing is weird, but it does light up. I got it hoping to use it as like a rave toy or something. It didn't work for that just because it is so bad to flip. But it is a very interesting relic from the past. That's an old one if you know about that one. All right, moving right along in the bottom here. This is a beautiful relic. This is the Ryworks butt plug. This is, it says metal up your ass on there, which is great. Gotta love that. And Ryworks. It has the Ryworks logo. This is the orange one. Very, very good. This has never gone up an ass, though it is certainly asking for it, as the inscription says. Yeah, this is hilarious to me. Ryworks is known for being a maker who makes grails. Ryworks is a Japanese balisong maker from Japan. Wow, that was the worst sentence I've ever said. This is crazy because I saw that he made this. I had Ryworks Balisongs back in the day. Honestly, I want them again. I really miss my Omeme, and I would do anything for a Kono Oshi. So, you know, but this is hilarious because this is an official product from Ryworks. This is officially a Ryworks product, this butt plug, and I own one, and that's very funny to me. So I don't care what you think, but I think that's hilarious, and that is as much a part of the Balisong collection as any of the other Balisongs, so I don't want to hear it from you. Next up, we have Toast. Toast is a cat, and she's a very good cat, isn't she? Isn't that right, Toast? Isn't that right, baby girl? Who's a doshi doshi do? Who's a doshi doshi doshi? What are you doing, baby girl? Are you coming to go lay in the sun? I think she wants to lay in the sun. Oh, are you gonna find a sunspot, baby girl? Are you gonna lay in the sun, Toast? Yes, you are. It's toast time for the video. Toast time. Good girl. Okay. Enough of toast time. Well, there's never enough toast time, but enough of toast time for right now, because these are the Balio from Spyderco. These are two different versions of the Balio. One of them, I think it's called like the Wing or something like that, where it has a little bit of an extra groove. They don't flip great, as you can see. They're super, super duper light, but they are a neat novelty. They have a Fisher Space pin inside of them, which is at least a good pin, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, they are weird little Balisongs, I'll tell you that much. They're completely made of plastic. They're really thin. They're really hard to flip, but they exist. That's the most that I can say for them. Okay, so now we got that going on. I think that's everything from the bottom of here, and even crazier than that, I think that we're going to have enough space on this table to not only put every Balisong on there, but maybe even make a fun design with them. So isn't that exciting? There's like literal construction work happening outside. I have the door open right now because it's just really nice out. And Toast would agree. Isn't it nice out, Toast? Do you like it, how nice it is out? It's nice out right now? Oh, say hello to everybody, Toast. Yes, good girl. But yeah, there's apparently literal construction happening outside, so that's fun. Everybody likes that. We like a little fun here. Where to begin? Where to begin? There's a lot going on here, you know. Let's start here, and then we'll kind of bounce around a bit. I'm feeling a little freeform right now. Are you feeling a little freeform right now? I hope you are. You better be. I'm watching you. All right, right here. First up. Et voila. This is the Squid Industries Crackerakin. It's my custom black and orange colorway. I got this from a pretty awesome person on Instagram a while back. I can't remember his username off the top of my head because I'm very stupid, but yes, I genuinely love this thing. I already mentioned it in my collection video. I dropped it on all of my Balisongs. I really wanted to scratch up my other beautiful Balisongs with this Balisong. So I'm going to be dropping it on them a lot more, and hopefully I will eventually ruin the finish on my Tsunami using this Balisong. But, you know, anyways, this is a very good Balisong. I love the Crackerakin. You love the Crackerakin. Everybody loves the Crackerakin. How can you not? It's a crack-a-rackin'. That's a Balisong. That's what they say. Moving right along, let's look at the other crack-a-rackin' I have. Ooh, bada bing, bada boom. This is a very cool Balisong, and I do need to get this Instagram right because this is just a cool thing, and I would feel very bad for not getting this right. So give me a sec. We're looking. My phone says network request failed. That's not a good sign. That's never a good sign, but we're having fun anyways. Where is the dude who sent me this? Is it? Yes, it is Tyler. Ty Flips. TYFLIPZ. Here, I can just show you. Why am I holding my phone out of the shot when you could just look? This is Ty Flips. He does really cool mod work to Balisongs, as you can see. Really, really professional grade milling onto crack-a-rackin' handles. Like, this is some really, really impressive work. So, very cool stuff. Lovely to see that. This specifically is a speed channeled crack-a-rackin', and I really do love the speed channels on the crack-a-rackin'. They feel wonderful to flip. However, the one thing I will note is that this is a crack-a-rackin' V1.5, I believe, or maybe even a crack-a-rackin' buoy V1. So technically, I think it was in the V1.5 stage, but it was the first time they released the buoy. I could be wrong about that. Either way, yeah, this is an old blade, is what I'm getting at. This is V2 handles. They don't fit on the blade properly, and so the open is way too small. You see that? That's crazy. That's a big old difference right there. It's way too small. It's also too small closed. It's just not right. So the blade actually does impact the inside of the handles on this, but thankfully I do have my V1.5 handles that I will be sending to Ty Flips to actually get custom milling done to those. And those are actually dual tone handles anyways, so having this, because the process creates a dual tone look, you know, regardless, because you can't really re-anodize over that with aluminum unless you have all of the technology to do so. So I think it'll look really, really dope. So I'm going to be sending him the actual handles that go on this Balisong, and then hopefully it will fit properly. But for now, very, very good work, Ty. Oh man, we're going through it. Let's see here. This is the BB Barfly Pro Flipper V2, or maybe it's just the BB Barfly Pro V2. I don't remember exactly. It's a good little Balisong. I really like the way it flips even to this day. As you can see, it has a spot in my main case, so that's pretty cool. However, it is rusting on the blade because the blade is made of tool steel, and that's not a great steel. So, oh well. Sorry, BB Barfly. Good job, but man, I wish you used a better steel on that thing. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, this is a very beautiful Balisong. I just made a video on this the other day. This is the Cygnus from LDY Balisong, and as I said, LDY is probably the premier maker on the market right now, and this is why I say that. This is probably one of the best Balisongs I've ever flipped, and I don't mean that lightly. This is just a very, 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 very good Balisong. It's insane. It's made of incredible materials. It's got G10 and titanium happening. It's got some of the most insane milling work ever, like the details in terms of the G10s kind of melting into the titanium in certain spots, and it's all just like one whole piece, even though it's a bunch of different pieces like stuck together. I don't know. It is incredible. This is really, really, really impressive work. I really adore this Balisong. So yeah, good job, LDY. You're killing it. All right, what else we got? This is my Max Ace Apostle. This is a very beautiful pinsless design Balisong, which has actually lasted, who would have guessed, a lot better than my Monarch. But yeah, this is a actual pinsless design that so far has lasted really well for me. I really like the design of this Balisong. I really love how it flips. It feels amazing in the hand while flipping. It's like really comfortable. Everything about it was just tuned properly. So yeah, this is a gorgeous Balisong from Maxace. Maxace is just always putting out some really incredible products at the end of the day. All right, back into this case. Let's go to this side. Maybe we're going to look at something pretty. This is the Jerry Halm Basilisk R. This is the Basilisk Elite, technically. And this has got the PVD-coated black blade along with the gorgeous gold handles. And actually, I need to oil my PVD-coated black blade so that it looks more beautiful. So we can do that real quick. While we're here, we might as well, right? Just a little bit of oil onto the blade, and then you smear it around a little bit, and it just looks gorgeous. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. That's a sexy-looking blade. Beautiful stuff going on there. So yeah, PVD-coated black blade and then gold, beautiful handles. This is basically just an art piece in a Balisong. It's not one that I flip on the regular just because I don't want to hurt it. It's relatively fragile finish-wise, but it is gorgeous. So I do really like this thing, even though I don't really flip it that often. All right, another Jerry Halm Balisong. Here it is. The I Basilisk. This is a really, really cool Balisong that's got a lot of great stuff going on from Jerry, once again. This is the updated version of the Basilisk that has a integrated channel handle. So the handles are completely made out of one piece of titanium that has been milled. And I really like this Balisong. It's got the... Oh, God. I got the latchless version. Also, the camera is starting to hurt my forehead, which is... dope. That means I've been recording for a good amount of time. This Balisong is very fun to flip. It's got a lot of good stuff going on, and it's just good. That was a review. Good review. There's a full review if you want it. Go watch that. There you go. Let's see here. This is my beautiful Tsunami. This is my Tsunami number 169 from Production 5. I adore this Balisong. I really love it. It kind of like changed my mind about how good the Tsunami could be. Like the first Balisong that changed my mind about how good the Tsunami could be was my Krusty Tsunami, or as people have come to know it now, the Penny Tsunami, because this is the Balisong that I had on me when Penny passed away. I really love this Balisong. It's super janky. It's super fun. But the Production 5 Tsunami is definitely the one that kind of has sold me on the Tsunami as just being a absolutely incredible Balisong. I genuinely really love my Tsunami, and it is just a beautiful Balisong. I picked that up at Blade Show 2022. All right, moving right along. This is the Penny Tsunami, or the Janky Tsunami. Once again, it's a Tsunami, but this is not a Production 1 Tsunami. This is a pre-Production 1 Tsunami. This Tsunami is made up of parts from prototypes of the original Tsunami. So each one of the parts of the handle on this Tsunami are all unique. They all have different colors and textures because they were all literally prototype parts that were never supposed to be put together into a finalized Balisong. And this is like basically fully custom at this point, technically. It says willhirsch.gay on the back. It's got my logo on there. It says Squid Industries on the front. Every part of this Balisong is a blemish, and I just absolutely adore it. I think it's really, really cool. And Toast has come back to say hi. Hello, Toast. Hello, baby girl. Do you want to say hi to the people on the internet? What do you have to say, Toast? Are you going to meow at the people on the internet? No? Are you just going to sit in the sunlight? Yeah, that's fair. She's got the right idea right now. Okay. Oh, speaking of the one from earlier, here is my The One Benchmade 42 clone. I still don't own a real Benchmade 42. Maybe I will one day when they're not $800, but they're not worth $800. Please stop paying $800 for a Benchmade 42. They're not worth it. Until that day comes, here's my clone. You know, it's good. It's a clone of the Benchmade 42. What do you want from me? It's fine. All right. Speaking of Benchmade, This is my Benchmade 51 that has gunner grip scales. So this is a custom Benchmade 51 with EDCK gunner grip scales and custom bacon carbon fiber spacers. So this thing flips like a dream, even though it has a lot of play and tap. It still flips fantastically, and the blade on it is the Flytanium Zenith Live Blade. I very much love both the Zenith Live Blade and the Zenith Trainer from Flytanium. They're a blade that comes with fitted bushings pre-installed, which is very cool. It allows you to upgrade your Benchmade 51 with bushings. It's just a really dope system. So yeah, Zenith Live Blade, beautiful custom Benchmade 51. Moving right along in the 51 camp, I have my other custom Benchmade 51. This one has Flytanium CF insert scales. These are super duper rare scales at this point. It also has Space Invaders by Jimpy, which are just these massive custom cut G10 spacers that have a channel, like a faux channel, that make the Balisong. They make the Balisong sound wild. It sounds like halfway between like metal and plastic because of the channel spacers. But it's a really weird Balisong, but I like it a lot. It's super long. It's much longer than the original 51 because of the Space Invaders. It's wacky. It has a very nice blade on it, actually. This is not the original Benchmade 51 blade. Instead, this is a Benchmade 51 blade that has been modified by Ben, who is a fantastic guy. And Ben added bushings to this blade. So this is a modified Benchmade 51 blade that has bushings installed in it. So that's pretty cool. All right, next up, I'm going to go through more of this case before we finish off that case, because I feel like that would equalize things a little bit. Here we have the Tay Flipper. I talked about this one in my collection video on the main channel. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. It's just on the main Will Hirsch channel. Really, really great video. We're really proud of that thing. But yeah, this is probably my current favorite plastic trainer, though I will admit the Flip Forge Edit really surprised me, and will definitely be making videos about that in the coming future. So yeah, Tay Flipper, fantastic Balisong. Very nice made of plastic Balisong. Speaking of made of plastic Balisongs, here is the Zipper from Zippy. This is a actually very good plastic Balisong as well. It has slightly better action than the Tay Flipper. Like, the balance is slightly better due to some of the choices made in its construction, due to the fact that these ball weights are kind of spaced out along the handles instead of just being concentrated at the end. But the ball weights don't feel very good in the hand to me, so it kind of does lose points for that reason. Here is another fun trainer. This is the Swordfish. Speaking of just using interesting materials, Swordfish review is coming. We have a full review of this thing on its way on the main channel, but for now, it's entirely made of aluminum, which is interesting. It's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but it's also not bad at all. It is just very interesting, in my opinion. And yes, that includes the blade being made of aluminum. Here is my custom Squiddy. This is a Squiddy that I got to assemble myself. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go check that out. It was a bit of a difficult process making my own Squiddy from scratch, but it was pretty cool getting to do so. So yeah, this is a fully built from scratch by me Squiddy. I put all of the pins inside of it. I assembled everything. I got to laser engrave it. So it's got the Squid Industries logo and my logo on there. And yeah, I'm really proud of this thing. It feels nice to have that much handiwork put into a Balisong. It's cool. Okay, moving right along here, we have the Bite Blades Titan. This is a very cool Balisong from a maker that basically doesn't exist anymore, which is super sad. Bite Blades was a fantastic Balisong maker. I have no idea what happened to him, but eventually even his website went offline, so that's definitely not a good sign for his products continuing into the future, but while they were here, the Bite Blades Titan was a fantastic Balisong. And I am very sad to see him go as a maker. All right. Next up is the Olympus Industries Prime. What are you called? Are you the Prime? I think you're the Prime. I could be wrong about that. Something like that. But this is from Olympus Industries. They're a pretty cool Balisong maker out of Texas, I think. And this is a very good Balisong. This thing slaps. This is a really dope trainer. You can see it performs super well. I highly suggest this trainer. It is just really, really good. It's basically as good as the EPS Wraith in a number of ways. I think the tuning could be slightly better because it does come with tap out of the box, but to be fair, as I talked about in that video, the actual tolerances that we're talking about here that create that tap are insanely small, so it's really not a big deal that it comes with that because it doesn't affect the flipping whatsoever. It doesn't actually have blade rub out of the box, it just has a slight bit of tap, and that is totally fine, especially for a Balisong that flips this good. Next up, I will dig into the case. We're going to do the Seraph. This is my custom Seraph from MachineWise. What a wonderful guy for sending me this. This is a really dope Balisong that I absolutely love. It's got these beautiful blue, purple, blurple handles. It's got my logo etched into it on the back, which I didn't even ask him to do. He just did that himself because he's a super cool guy. So thank you, Dalen, for doing that. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It also says willhirsch.gay in really small letters on the front of it. So yeah, this is honestly probably my current favorite flipper in my entire collection. I really love my MachineWise Seraph. All right. In the Grail spot over here, we have the Bowie Ronin by Palatheus. This is another one that was in my collection video from this year, and it's a fantastic Balisong. This has been something that I've been chasing for a very long time. I managed to get it this year, and I'm really happy about it. I really like the way it flips. It's a good Balisong. There we go. Speaking of MachineWise, this is the first thing that MachineWise sent me. Technically, it's not actually. Technically, he sent me the Delta 4, but this is the Delta 50. This is the first product that was like commercially available from MachineWise, and this is one of the first prototypes of it, and it is actually really good. Honestly, I would love to see Dalen create just another run of these just for like the fun of it, because they are genuinely, shockingly good Balisongs for how hilarious they look. I mean, look at it. It's massive. It's super thick. It's really chunky. It's got like all this blockiness to it, and yet, it feels great to flip, even though it is utterly hilarious to look at. So yeah, I really hope that Dalen revitalizes these in a way. There is the Sliff T, which is the Slim 50, which is a very, very good Balisong, but I want to see him revitalize the 50. I just want him to bring it back temporarily because I think it would be awesome for more people to be able to play with that. All right, next up, we have this. This is the ELB Pro Flipper V1, I believe. This is a fantastic Balisong. I'm really happy I was able to acquire one. I've always wanted an ELB Pro Flipper, so the fact that this is in my collection now just makes me extremely happy, and I will almost certainly never sell it. I genuinely love the Pro Flipper. It is just such a beautiful knife. Emmanuel Lebrun is a very, very incredible knife maker who creates awesome products, and this is one of those awesome products. So yeah, I just love this thing. It's a very good Balisong. This is the Nabali's G10 trainer thing. I don't think there's any real name for it. It's just from Nabali's. This is the thing that kind of inspired us to eventually work with them, because back in the day, this is one of the first trainers that we ever suggested people get in our second Amazon unboxing video. This is the trainer that we were like, yeah, you know, if you want to just buy a trainer that will actually be pretty solid for like 30 bucks, this is the one to go for. And that recommendation doesn't hold up as well today, but, you know, we eventually made something that is even better. with the same company. Nibali's really had a glow up. So yeah, thank you, Nibali's. All right, I'm going to move into the case here. There's a couple things in the case that I want to get through, which is like the Bali driver right here and Carbon Honey. The Bali driver is something from Glider Co. Once again. This is a fantastic tuning tool. It does two things. It has a normal sort of screwdriver mode for just unscrewing the pivots normally, but in terms of actually cranking down, loosening, or breaking Loctite, this mode where you have like a lot of leverage is awesome. So yeah, the Bali driver is a fantastic addition to my collection. On top of that, Carbon Honey has been something I've very much enjoyed. It's a very good Balisong oil. It still doesn't quite beat Super Lube for me. I still really like my Super Lube, and I'm gonna be putting more of it into a bottle made for flippers and selling that on the website. Personally, what I've found is I'll use Carbon Honey for a while, and then eventually it'll start to kind of gunk up the knife. And so I'll add Super Lube to sort of reset everything, and then I can go back to the Carbon Honey. So I actually end up using both of these at the end of the day, which is a little funny to me, honestly. All right, what do we got? We're in the dregs now. We're coming to the end. Ooh, these two are very fun. These are two versions of the Maxace Obsidian. This is the original Obsidian with a trainer blade attached to it. Very, very beautiful, very gorgeous knife. But the Obsidian 2 is just fabulous. They took everything about the original Obsidian and just made it slightly better, made a really, 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 really beautiful knife. I love the way the Obsidian 2 looks. I love the way it feels in the hand. It's a little bit of a rocky texture, but I don't think that's a bad thing. In fact, I happen to enjoy it a lot. So, yeah, these are my Maxace Obsidians. Next up, we're going to talk about this one. This is another Maxace product. This is the Maxace Pelican, or Pelicanus, or Pelican US, but the final name that they came to is just the Pelican. The original Maxace Pelicanus was just so funny, but someone clued them in that the word Pelicanus just wasn't that great. And so here you go. Yeah, this is a really neat thing. We really like the Maxace products in this family. There's a lot of good stuff going on. One thing Brandon noticed is that a lot of the original Maxace products seem to be named after Halo things, because you have stuff like, so I have in here the Maxace Covenant, right? So there's the Maxace Covenant, and then the Maxace Scorpius, and then the Maxace Pelican. Like, these are all things related to the Halo franchise, which is interesting. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but if it is, very cool. And if it's not, very cool. But yeah, Maxace is a fantastic company. A lot of cool stuff coming from them. This one in specific, though, is a collaboration between Maxace, who made the handles, and then sent a blade blank to a maker known as... Oh, the name is escaping me suddenly. Not Benson Blades. There's too many Balisong makers that have B's for their names. Bali Ballistics. There we go. Yeah, Benson Blades. There's too many. Why does everybody have to have B's in their names? Yeah, this is from Bali Ballistics. So Bali Ballistics did the beautiful, beautiful grind on this blade. This thing is gorgeous, to say the least. It is a insane sort of recurve buoy style with a really deep hollow grind that just looks incredible to me. I really love it. I really, really love this Balisong. I wish I could flip it more, but currently the pins are already a little bit loose in the blade, and I really don't want to crack them, because if you crack the pins in the blade, currently Maxace doesn't make them anymore. So I'd either have to find donor pins from another Pelican, and I don't know of anybody that owns another Pelican, or I'm just fucked. Or I'd have to have somebody install new pins into it, which would also be a huge pain. So yeah, hopefully one day I actually do want to get a permanent pin installations installed into this guy so that it's not a pain anymore. But until that day, I just have to be a bit careful with it. But I do really love this thing, and I love how it flips as well. All right, continuing on the Max Ace train, we have the Max Ace Covenant V2. I had a Covenant V1, and then I sold it back in the day, and now I have a Covenant V2, and I like it. I honestly liked my Covenant V1 slightly more, but it's a very small difference, and other than that, I don't know, it's just good. I just like it. It just flips really well. It's a lot of fun to flip. It feels great in the hand. It's very rectangular for a Balisong. It's very flat, but honestly, I don't find that to be that bad of a deal. This is honestly a Balisong that was a grail for me back in the day due to NRB being obsessed with it. Back when he was just I Am Not a Real Boy on YouTube, he really liked this thing back in the day, and so when I saw his review of it, I was like, oh man, I really want one of those, and I was right to want it because it's good. All right, now we're looking at carbon fiber here because we've talked about carbon fiber inlay Balisongs. Let's talk about a carbon fiber X-lay Balisong. That makes sense. This is the Lucha V2, the Nucha, as we called it. Nucha. It's good, but it's not great. We made a whole review of it. Go watch the whole review on the main channel. As I said, a lot of these Balisongs have full reviews or are going to have full reviews on the main channel. So make sure you're subscribed to Will Hirsch and Will Hirsch Flips. Maybe subscribe to both. Might be a good idea. Yeah, this Balisong is good. It's not great. Has a lot of cool stuff going on. It's a neat Balisong. It's not a perfect Balisong, but it's a upgrade and a downgrade at the same time is kind of all I can say about it. On the Kershaw train, I also have my Flightanium Kershaw Lucha. This has the original V1 Flightanium handles, which are really, really nice. They make the Kershaw Lucha a fantastic Balisong that's a lot of fun to flip. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here, and I really like the way it flips, even though it is a chunky chunger. It is a very big chungus, as you can see. That's a massive chungus right there. So yeah, that's a honkin' honkaroo. I wish it had the jimping that the later versions have, but that's okay. It's the V1. All right, to clean out this case, finish up this bad boy, thank you Case Delta for your service, we have the Medusa from Fellowship Blades. This is such a cool Balisong. The Medusa, this is the Empress Medusa, which has the Empress live blade. This thing's really awesome. Honestly, I came around on Fellowship Blades really hardcore when Brandon helped me realize that the whole reason it's called Fellowship Blades is because Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. It's because of Lord of the Rings. And all of a sudden, after Brandon gave me that information, it all clicked. The original version that Brandon has, my version with the Empress, all of a sudden I was like, oh my god. The aesthetic is similar to that of stuff from Lord of the Rings. The blade profile is reminiscent of stuff from Lord of the Rings. The finish and the actual look of everything on the blade milling, the fact that the pivots are these really weird, interesting, like textured pivots, it all suddenly made sense. I was like, oh my god, of course. It's Fellowship of the Ring. It's all freaking nerd shit. And I love nerd shit. So yeah, thank you, Grant, for this wonderful Balisong. This thing flips amazingly. As I said, we also have a full review in the works for this guy that might even be out by the time this video goes live. So yeah, definitely check out the main channel. Lots of reviews happening. We're doing stuff, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I really, really love my Empress Medusa. Okay, moving right along here. Here is the JW Magnet. Once again, this is in my collection video for this year. It's a fantastic Balisong from a maker in Poland. This is a handmade knife. It is really gorgeous. I really like what JW has been doing. He's been making a lot of cool Balisongs. Definitely keep up with JW Knife on Instagram. Yeah, this is the JW Magnet. I love my magnet. All right. This is the JK Designs Emissary number 8 and is still my favorite JK Designs product from most of anything that I've flipped. I really like this. I really, really like what Julian was doing when he got into the hobby and started making this stuff. Honestly, at the time, this thing was incredibly well made. It was like a really good deal, and he was doing cool stuff at the time. Like, he actually had fully custom milled boxes made of stained wood that he would give you the Balisong in. Now you're going to pay like $1,200 and you're going to get a Balisong in a sheath, which is nice because it is more functional, right? Like the cloth pouch is more functional. But the wooden box, the custom wooden box, was just really sweet in terms of an unboxing experience. Like, it's not functional, but it's really cool. And so I do miss that a little bit. Next up, we have... Ooh, that was a spicy one. This is the BRS Chab. This is the latchless version of the Chab, and this is a big, chunky chunger, once again, similar to the Flytanium Lucha, except it's not quite as long, but it is a chunky, heavy Balisong. It is fun to flip. I really do enjoy it still to this day, but it is different than a lot of my collection, which is honestly one of the reasons that I like it. I like weird Balisongs, but that also doesn't mean that it is a perfect nor great Balisong. So, yeah, it's a good Balisong, not a great one. Yeah, I like it. Next up, Maxace Pion. This is a gorgeous Balisong, in the same vein as the Scorpius in a way, right? Because the Scorpius had these like face plane handles. It didn't have a lot going on milling-wise. Yet somehow they made this one have slightly more grip, and I think that has two things to it. First of all, I think the finish is just ever so slightly different in a way that gives you slightly more grip. But also, they have this cut in the center where it kind of like divots down a little bit and then comes back up like at the end. It's just a very slight dip, but it does give you a lot of grip for what it is. And then on top of that, it's just a really nice Balisong. It flips really well. I genuinely really enjoy flipping this thing. I'm super duper impressed by the way this thing flips. So yeah, that is a beautiful Balisong in my opinion. I really am just highly impressed with everything Maxace has been able to do over their time in the Balisong hobby. Okay, Maxace Pion. We're down to the end here. All right, this is my Talisong. This is my personal Talisong. I genuinely love the crap out of this knife. It is a beautiful hand-ground Bowie profile, ground by Eldon himself on incredible-looking Damascus steel. This is just an incredible Balisong. I love it. It's very sharp because it was sharpened by Stitch at Stitch Steel. It's a very beautiful Balisong. It's handmade by Eldon Talley. I just love everything about it. That's all you need to know. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's good. It is a work of art that I can touch, and I love that. The finish on the blade, just the look of the Damascus steel is just gorgeous, and the texture on this. I think the Talisong Z does capture the texture of the Talisong to a degree, but it doesn't show as good as what this is. This is just the perfect amount of texturing. It's not too sharp, it's not too grippy, it is just right. And so yeah, the original Talisong, absolutely a incredible Balisong and one that I am so proud of. And then, finally, last but very much not least, is the Stitched Steel Alien. This is made by my good friend Stitch, who lives local to me here in Georgia. This is a completely handmade from scratch style knife. He literally uses a drill press and a bandsaw to make this thing. It is insane how he works. He is such a good craftsman and is well respected in the Balisong hobby for a reason. Yeah, this is probably the current favorite Balisong in my entire collection. It's just that good. Stitch just does an incredible job, and so I am very, very happy to say that I own this Balisong. And so we come to the end of my Balisong collection as it currently stands in 2023. This is a lot of Balisongs, as you can see. We have upgraded and changed from the previous year a lot. There's just a lot happening here. I do want to kind of like make this a little prettier for the thumbnail, but while I'm doing that, I also want to just say to everybody, like, thank you to everyone who has subscribed and watched our videos, subscribed to the Will Hirsch Flips part of everything, just because, like, this has been a very interesting journey that I've had over the past few years. I never expected this to go nearly as far as it did. And the fact that we're here now, the fact that this is all happening and, like, is real and legit is just, well, it's really cool. I'm really, really happy about it. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that has participated in the channel in any way. And honestly, a huge thank you to our patrons as well. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. Obviously, the Patreon doesn't technically directly support the Will Flips channel, but it pretty much does, let's be honest. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone that has watched our videos. I can't believe we've come this far. I mean, look at this. I was supposed to have 6. I was supposed to stop at 6 Balisongs, and look at where I am now. This is nuts. This is obnoxious. This is so many. Yeah. This is cool. Actually, here, let's count. Let's count. Why not? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Technically 58-ish Balisongs. And that doesn't even count, like, I have one of each color of the Vulp. I actually don't have a lot of these, though. People kind of think, I think that I have a bunch of Vulps lying around. I do not. If you wanted a Vulp from me, I would actually have to purchase it myself from Nibali's. They handle all of that. But, yeah, almost 60. That's 10 times what I was supposed to have. 10 times the amount of Balisongs that I was supposed to have. And here we are with that many. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing. And, you know, I think we can all thank Toast for being here and for being very cute and being too bright in the sunlight, because it's very bright. Is it bright out, Toast? It's bright in the sunlight. Yes, it is. She is such a good baby. Thank you, Toast. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. That was Jerry Holmes' case Delta from the custom Will Hirsch X My Case Builder cases and Case Foxtrot. Yeah, currently I have so many Balisongs that even Case Foxtrot can't fit my collection, so I actually have to stretch it between multiple cases. And I said this in the main collection video, but Case Delta has been the one that I actually take places with me now. This one is mostly just for storage at this point. So, yeah. That was a long video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I enjoyed making it, but it was a long one. I have a bit of a headache now from the camera on my forehead. It's on my forehead. It's pressing down. And it's been doing that for like probably an hour at this point. I mean, what time is it? It's 5:30. God, has it been more than an hour? Oh, it's definitely been more than an hour. My head hurts. I'm gonna stop talking now. Why am I still talking to you? Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Appreciate every last one of you. You're all amazing. You're the best. You do it. You're the best. We have the best fans. This is the best YouTube channel. We have the best fans. We are the best music. Why am I still talking to you? Goodbye. Peace.